Welcome back this week for Flow for Life. Hey, this week we got Tammy Watters in the building.
Hi.
This is her second time being on Flow for Life. The first time we talked a lot about taxes, business taxes, things like that. Tamla, I've been knowing her for a long time. In probably middle school, back at the gunning days, she used to come up there, and then of course, high school. Tamla, she been doing taxes since high school.
Yeah.
Probably before then, I don't know, but I know high
Nah, it was just I was a recruiter before,
and
but
I don't believe
uh,
that.
I was a recruiter. I started off as a recruiter. Like I would find people to refer to the tax lady, and she'll pay me for the referrals. And then after high school, I went to Jackson Hewitt, and here I am.
Okay. So tell them a little bit about your family.
Oh, my family is growing. We have a dog. We're
Okay.
growing with a dog. So I still have 2 kids, no extra ones, none coming right now. 14 and 4. Well, Rory will be 4 in June. And a dog. And Grayson's birthday is in a few days, March 24th, actually. And then I'm engaged. I've been engaged since December, my birthday last year. So, no, December of 2020.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's how my family is doing.
Now
How's your family? What's going on with you guys?
so got a baby now in the house. I already had my 2 dogs, but I got my son and of course my woman. But my son, man, he probably tomorrow he'll be a month old.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can
How is
say
that with the dog though?
oh,
How
it's
do the dogs feel about the new baby?
cool. I can see them getting into protective mode when it comes to him. Like
Okay.
in the bed or something. Flo, my wildest one, he'll jump up there and try to like be on guard. And I'm like, man, bruh, get down. Cause sometimes he be like trying to lay with him, like lay with the
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, that's his buddy for sure.
That's his
But
dog.
what's so crazy is Royal and Grayson is like that too. I got Royal love dogs. So I got Grayson for Royal's birthday last year. And when I say they fight like they're human, like Royal's like, he hit me. Grayson said, Grayson, I said, Royal, he don't have hands and he don't talk. But he got like boxing gloves, so he be trying to like box the dog, and I'm just like, wait, don't hit the dog.
Y'all just have a small dog.
Yeah, we got a French bulldog, yeah.
Y'all about to say because a pit bull ain't
But
going.
yeah, they ain't going, not at all. But you know what? The reason why we didn't get a big dog is because I don't like big dogs. They slob too much.
No, my dog, he don't really slob. I'm thinking you talking about those big like greyhounds or something like that. They slob.
But that's what I want. I want like a Great Dane or something like that.
Nah, that's too big.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yep. So moving forward, right? So we
Mhm.
this pandemic since about December of 2019, if I believe. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people they didn't survive the pandemic. So how do you think we can come out of this?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I think
No,
I think that the pandemic is a gimmick. All right, is what you make it. Okay. You have people that was able to capitalize off of the pandemic. You have people that didn't make it out of the pandemic. But it's all what you make it, right?
mhm.
Um, I say that to say when I was working at before I opened Peerless Tax Service in 2020, I was working at UH. And in 2019, October to be exact, we had a case on our floor. I was a secretary, and it was a lady on our floor, and she had COVID. We didn't know what it was though. We had to transport her off the unit though because she was extremely contagious. And the nurses and the doctors, everybody was freaking out. And this is October of 2019. Now, keep in mind, the world didn't find out about, as in the US didn't find out about it until the week after Kobe Bryant died in the plane crash.
Yeah.
But if if you were paying attention or if anyone else was ever paying attention, at the bottom of the screen, the day that they had the breaking news of Kobe Bryant plane crash, it stated in China the cases of COVID was some outrageous number, right? I pay attention to details, so I seen it. But I'm looking like, what are they talking about? Probably like a week later, that's when when they announced like, oh, we're going on lockdown, all this, all that. I don't know what strategies people are using to make it out of the pandemic, but I always been the one that had a job and I also did taxes. So I always have like a plan A and plan B. Okay. And right now for me, it was hard getting out of the pandemic, and it's still going on. They just trying to like dull it down a little bit because they can't go broke. They need us to work.
Right. It's wild too. They've been basically telling people that they can go back to work. They trying to lift those vaccine mandates and a whole bunch of stuff. And
how you feel about that?
Honestly, to be honest, first I want to talk about like hey, keep that in the back of my mind. But I wanted to talk about
the mandate. Okay.
if you didn't work on yourself or try to develop a skill, like you basically wasted your time. Like it was a lot of time, and there was a lot of people online selling courses that you could have just jumped on the wave. Like I know a lot of people like jumping on waves anyway when it comes to fashion, but when it comes to finance,
yeah,
they don't like to jump on that wave. Or if they jump on that wave, they like to take your stuff and start selling it like they created it. So yeah, that's wild. But
yeah, and that's why I said some people capitalized off of the pandemic because you got to, like you just said, a lot of things went virtual. So virtual books, skills, even like hairstylists. I know it was a few people like having different trainings on how to create a wig or how to do an install. That's a capitalize because can't nobody get their hair done. So guess what? And the hair stores is closed. So you can buy the hair from me and I'll teach you through a computer on how to make a wig. Some people took a loss because if they didn't have the skill or they didn't have the patience to do a virtual training, they were without. So it's pros and cons with the pandemic for sure. But like I said, I'm the type where I try to motivate everyone to have a plan and play a plan A and B. So if you working, that's cool. Just figure out something that you like to do on the side and make some money off of it.
No, I agree. Like, because I got out the military a little bit after the pandemic started. So I got out, and I want to say May of 2020. So I'm like middle of the pandemic almost. And I was like, since I hit the ground running, I started learning about wholesaling real estate, learning stocks. I started selling Flow for Life shirts, hats, like when I started doing credit repair, I started learning about business credit, how to get funding, and all this stuff. And it's like you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Like if you have a job, they're gonna let you down every time. Like you see,
because I look at it like, and it depends on who you work for and where you work at. But a lot of these big corporate companies, you are a pawn, and that's what made me say, you know what? I'm tired of being a pawn. I'm over it at this point. Like I am more than just a pawn. Like my skills, once I put my mind to it and I do it, I'm gonna get this business to the next level. And that's any company that I work for. So like I work for CVS Caremark, which is a call center, and we got graded off of each call. Okay. And the scorecard can total up to 100%. And you'll get penalized if you had anything less than like 90% or whatever. So my scorecards, I'm not to brag or anything, but I never had anything less than a 97. So that means all my scorecards is A1. And when I say they score you from like the way that you greet the call, the way that you answer the call. They can even see like where you found the information to like answer the questions and stuff like that. Like they can see everything. So they're skilled, like they're scoring you for everything that you do. And if you like forget to recap the call, as in, oh, thank you for calling Peerless Tax Service today. Before we end this call, I would like to say something like, we discussed your tax return today, and you also asked me about this. Was there anything else I can assist you with today? If you don't say that closing sentence, your scorecard just got dropped.
No, I didn't
So,
into
like it's yeah. So when you looking at your scorecards, and you like, I'm making 90, 97 and better on my scorecards. I don't need to be a sales rep anymore. I don't need to be answering these calls. I need to be like a manager or something.
it. Right.
So it's like,
Thing.
but if you ain't doing X, Y, Z, or you ain't doing it to the point where the way that they like you to do it, it's like you're fine, you'll get replaced. You can complain, you can ask for an increase all you want, but you know, you're replaceable.
No, that's crazy. Because everybody replaceable. And I learned that in the army when I was getting out. Like, no matter what, as soon as you leave, somebody else coming to replace you.
Yeah, for sure. No matter how good your scorecards are, you are easily replaceable.
I did want to go back to what you was asking of what I thought about the whole pandemic. And me personally, like, I'm not a scientist or nothing like that, but it don't make sense. Like, it don't make sense. And it kind of seemed like whoever they used their agenda to get people fooled. A lot of people went out there and got that vaccine. They was catching COVID more than the people that wasn't vaccinated.
For sure. I noticed that too.
Uh, Honestly, the economy wasn't going to stay up if businesses stayed closed. So they had to like basically open them back up to keep the economy going. And then now we're kind of dealing with like gas prices and all that stuff on the rise. But it's like, wait, you just basically we know what we was dealing with the pandemic, and now
Right.
gas. And now you send people back to work where gas is higher. Come on, man. Not like you using small little tactics that we not catching on to, but some people are catching on to what's going on.
Because they're trying to reset.
Yeah,
It's a reset. It's a reset.
Down. Like everything's pretty much down. The stock market is down. Gas prices up. It's hard to find houses on the real estate market, and if you do, they overvalue. So really,
Yeah,
man, a lot of stuff going on, and we know
it's a
America.
lot.
Yeah, America been in debt and just a whole bunch of stuff like in the past. But a lot of people or the higher officials, the government, whoever, they pretty much, to my knowledge of what I want to say is they prey on our ignorance. So every time we
Yeah,
don't do something, they take advantage of us.
for sure.
Like,
And they prey on the uneducated. I mean, if you're not educated on what's going on, then guess what? You lost. And you don't see it coming your way. Um, if you're not properly preparing for certain things, then guess what? You're gonna fail. So the way that I look at it, even with like the gas prices and everything, it's a reset. You know, like you just said, they're trying to get people back to work sooner, knowing that these people are sick. It's people still getting sick, even being fully vaccinated with the Tdap. Like, how?
right.
How? If you told me if I get this, it's gonna cure me or I'm gonna be protected, how?
Hey, let me stop you, right? So they in it. If you get this vaccine, it's going to prevent you from catching COVID. Then what happened? The narrative changed. Oh, it's not going to stop you from catching COVID, but it's going to slow down the symptoms. Oh, another variant come, right? And they
Yeah.
said, oh, well, you got to get a booster shot, this and that.
What else you gonna give me? What else I gotta get?
It don't make sense. And then they just said something about one of the vaccines was not effective for children the age of 9 to like 13 or something like
And
that.
now all the kids get it.
Yeah, so really it's just like they don't know well, we
Well,
don't
I
know.
actually, I was in school for physical therapy, right? I have to actually finish, yeah. So I'm actually in the program. I just gotta complete it. Like I done the prereqs and all of that stuff. I'm just like 3 semesters away from completing my degree in physical therapy, right? So one of the courses that you have to take is pharmacology. Okay. So when you're studying pharmacology, there's certain steps that they have to take before they can actually put a medication on the market.
Right.
And some of those steps are like tests, like you can blindfold somebody, as in, I'm giving you a medication, I'm not telling you anything about it, but I'm taking notes on how your body react to it. You get what I'm saying? And then you got people that volunteer for these prescriptions or these different types of drugs, but you got to have so many tests before you can even put it on the market. And once it become on the market and it's FDA approved or whatever, and once it get on the market, it's a generic. Okay, before you can get a brand drug, you got to also have so many tests. So it's levels, and it takes time, and it takes years to put a
Takes
vaccine on the market. Okay,
takes years.
so
The information you just said, it takes years.
yeah, because you got to have so many people now with the pandemic and so many people getting sick, and they're trying to figure out what's going to work for someone. That process could have got sped up a little bit because you got people that's just willing to take whatever so that they don't get sick. And
Right.
then when you make it a mandate, like it's mandatory for you to get vaccinated, that also speeds up the process because now you got all these people that is getting vaccinated, don't even know the side effects, none of that. But they can, but then they can't get in trouble for it because they didn't make you get this. You chose to get it because you wanted to keep your job, or you chose to get this vaccine because you wanted to travel. Me personally, and I'm just speaking for myself, I haven't got COVID throughout the whole pandemic. I never had COVID.
I hope
And I'm not vaccinated, and I'm not getting vaccinated no time soon.
oh, it
Oh,
ain't never
and by the way, my job, my place of business does not require you to be fully vaccinated.
right. But another thing that I wanted to speak about, like you hit a lot of good points on there, but I want to talk about how a lot of people got these PPP loans, and a lot of these people
Uh-huh.
have real businesses. So, as you like somebody who does taxes, like
Mhm.
did anybody have to report that information while they was filing their
Oh
taxes?
yeah, for sure. So I'm one of those people that do my legwork. I do my due diligence before offering a service. Okay, I will never offer a service if I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't want it to come back on me. I also read. So one of the forms that they had on the disclosure when you were signing off to receive the PPP was a 4506 form.
Okay.
And in that form, it states that you authorize Blue Acorn, Blue Vine, or whatever lender at that time to basically give your information to the IRS, and they can go back into your tax records up to 4 to 5 years to see if the information that you placed on your PPP match. So, during the pandemic, a lot of businesses was closed.
Right.
So people didn't have access to their tax returns, or they didn't file their taxes or whatever. So if I know you probably didn't do the PPP, but there were some lenders that allowed you to do a draft, meaning because you can't access this information at the time, or because of the pandemic and the tax offices are closed, you can just put this information on this form, okay, as a draft. We'll give you the money, but you're also going to sign this form, this 4506 form, stating that if push come to shove, if we ever need to go back in your records, you already gave us consent to look up the information that you put on your loan for your taxes. So, yeah, I mean, the people who did the PPP, I strongly advise that if you did not file those taxes that you put on your PPP, you get those done.
Right. So a
Yeah.
lot of people.
So if you put on your tax return that you gross 100,000 to get to 20,000, you might want to make sure you file that. Not no might. You should file those taxes
So,
because you want to protect yourself.
so do you think that the government threw that out there just to get more money because they knew people would basically
For
jump?
sure.
So you think it was like almost like a strategy that they was using to put people in debt to pay off their debt?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Because that fell under the CARES Act. So it was 100% forgiven as long as you can show proof where the funds went. So, say for instance, you had got the PPP for Flow for Life, right?
Mhm.
And they gave you what, 10K, okay? Depending on the round, because there were 3 rounds of the PPP. First round of the PPP, the funds were only you were only able to use the funds for getting your business out of debt. So if you were behind on your rent, if you were behind on your car note, if you were using your car to go from one place to another, if you were behind on like any type of debt that relates to your business, and if you work from home, you get what I'm saying? That's your, or if you're an independent contractor, you basically working out of your home, so you using all that money or the funds to go back into your home. So as long as you can show proof that you use the funds to get your business out of debt, it was 100% forgiven. Now round two, they changed it a little bit and they made it a little bit more flexible for people that was getting out of debt and was trying to get their business to grow. So it went from only being able to get your business out of debt to now you can use the funds for inventory. You can use the funds to expand. When they had all the looting and stuff going on, you can use the funds for repairs, like in case your business or your home was damaged from the looting and stuff like that. And again, you still had to show a percentage of payroll, whether that was you paying your employees or paying yourself, or however you had your payroll system set up. You had to show a percentage that you use this for your business, 40% for your business expenses, and like 60% for payroll. And as long as you can show those percentages, it's 100% forgiven.
Oh,
Okay, so the people that didn't apply for the forgiveness, or did their forgiveness wrong, they're already paying it back to this day. Like, especially if you did it last year, the first round. Like the repayment started around Christmas time of last year. Wow. And they're not going to warn you again because they send out like a lot of different notices saying, hey, you haven't applied for forgiveness yet, apply today. If you didn't reply to any of those emails because you didn't have access to the email that the person who did your PPP loan, you got to pay it back. And there's no way around it.
Yeah, I wonder what like interest is, the taxes. Like, I want to know all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the people
what the interest is, you said?
Like, you know how, like, sometimes with stuff like this happens, you got to pay an extra tax or extra interest.
So the interest of the repayment for the PPP was 3.4 or something like that, 3.5, depending on how much you got. And then it's a 60-month term.
Oh, that's like a car payment.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Really? To be honest, that ain't even bad.
It ain't bad, but if you ain't got your business in order and you ain't making that money, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
So Joe Biden said he coming to do some straightening, huh?
Yeah, I've been seeing that. Yeah. But it's a lot of people that got millions off of that.
Yeah.
You're talking about ball players, singers, rappers. They're not playing.
Tom Brady, the football player, he got millions of dollars too.
He ain't getting in trouble, did he?
I don't think he got in trouble, but it's like, why would you need a PPP loan?
I mean, he could have been a business, you know, he got, you know, if you playing smart, you know, you
Yeah,
got a business, you need this.
no, you're right. So I wanted to speak on like since you've been in the business doing the peerless tax services, what are some of your business struggles and how did you overcome them?
Business struggles. Right now, I'm struggling with communicating with my clients.
All right,
Okay.
why is that?
And it's because it's hard finding someone you can trust. Okay. So finding someone you can trust to help you out in the office. So I deal with a lot of sensitive information. Like I said, I help people with their SBAs, I help people with their PPPs, I do taxes, I help people start business. So everything that I offer here at Peerless Tax Service surrounds someone's social security number, ID, birth certificate, like all the documents you need, I handle that. So when I'm looking for someone to help me out here at the office, I have to have somebody that has the experience and someone that is trustworthy. You get what I'm saying? And with it being everyone being in survival mode, it's hard to trust someone. So I have a mentor, like her name Keisha. She actually helped me start Peerless Tax Service. She lives in Florida, right? So I called Keisha and I said, Keisha, man, listen, I'm pushing like 4 or 5 tax returns this year. I need an assistant. Like 4 to 5 tax returns a day. That's how much I'm pushing.
That's a lot.
Okay. So a tax return can take any bit of an hour to 2 hours on a standard tax return, depending on if you are a new customer or a returning customer. If you're a returning customer, once you send me your documents, I can get your tax return done within a few minutes. You get what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But if you're a new customer, I don't know nothing about you, so I gotta ask questions. So I'm telling Keisha, I'm saying, Keisha, listen, I'm behind. I can't send out my documents how I need to send out my documents because the way that my system is set up, once you schedule an appointment with me, I'll call you, I'll confirm that you want a virtual appointment or an on-site appointment, right? I'll then send you a list of documents that you'll need for your appointment. I'll ask you, how would you like to send these documents? You can send it through my email, by text, or I have an encrypted site where you can upload your documents, right? After we receive the documents, go through everything, I'll get you scheduled for your appointment. Um, Now, with the pandemic, it's so many credits and stuff that's out here. So they sending out letters stating that, hey, we gave you 1,400 for your stimulus check. We gave you 3,300 for your advanced tax credit or whatever. And these are the numbers that you have to input on your tax return, right? To make sure that the numbers are accurate. Not everyone received that letter, but you can go online to access it on irs.gov. But not everybody have their login information. So these are things that's going to delay our appointment a little bit. And it's going to take a little bit longer until we can get this information. But
Right.
to wrap all that up, I say after I submit your tax return, you know, I have to send you your invoice and, you know, ask you if you got any questions. Are you okay with this and okay with that? But my communication, like some people may feel like, oh, Tammy is perfect. Like she communicated, the timing was perfect, everything is everything. And some people may feel like I ain't heard nothing back from her. I received the email and that was it. She ain't check on me, nothing. But it's because I'm busy and I'm doing it all by myself, right? It's not that I don't care. It's not that I'm not going to call. It's not that it's something going wrong. It's just the principle of it's just me. Okay. And I'm dealing with a lot of clients. I can handle it. I just need my patient, I just need my clients to be a little patient with me.
Right.
So one of the things, like to answer your question, one of the things that I am struggling with right now is finding someone that I can trust to help me with my communication with my clients, sending them their tax return updates, um, answering these calls when I'm on a podcast with you. But those are the things. That's one of the major things that I struggle with. The second thing that I am experiencing is getting people to respect my business and respect me. Okay,
Right.
so being a Black young entrepreneur and woman, um, it's hard. You got people that just want the money but don't want to pay, which is a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to H&R Block. You're not going to Jackson Hewitt. You're not going nowhere questioning them about their fees. You might ask, how do you charge, or how did you come up with this amount, which is fine, but you're not, oh, that's too much. Otherwise, you wouldn't even step foot into their door. So it's like, it's the respect thing that I'm trying to get out there, that I am. What happened to you? Okay. Wait, where did I go?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. So I'm trying to get people to respect Peerless Tax Service as much as they respect H&R Block and these other tax services.
Right.
Like, I'm not out to get anyone. You get what I'm saying? If you win, I win. If you have a great experience with me, you're going to refer a friend. I don't have to do a lot. You get what I'm saying? To satisfy someone. I just want the respect. And a lot of people are not respecting my business. And I think that's the hardest thing, because I'm out to help so many people. And I do comparison. Like, I search on the internet and look on people's Instagrams. I call and ask people, like, yeah, I'm interested in getting my taxes done. How much would you charge me to do my taxes? Or I know people that know other people, and I ask them, like, how much did they charge you? To make sure that my pricing is fair. You get what I'm saying? And I'm a strong believer of, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So, some people may feel like, oh, she on a pricey, on the higher end, and some people feel like, no, she
But
she
look,
good.
if you help somebody get $10,000 for their taxes, right, from everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you only charge them $1,000, let's be realistic. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
That's a fair thing. That's a good thing. You
You know
want
what
to
I mean?
know why? Because that's only 10%.
Right. That's 10%. What, like, how do people probably normally charge 30% or 25%, something weird like that? And the wild part, a lot of people was doing the PPP loans supposed to be for 20,000. They wasn't even getting 10,000. Talking about, and the people that did it talking about, oh well, it was a fee for this, a fee for that, a fee for this, and this is my fee, like making all these fees up, but you come into
There's
tax
some
lane.
numbers out here for sure. I heard some numbers. I heard half. So if I'm getting 20, you get 10, and I get 10. Like,
Yeah. No, I
I'm
got
not gonna lie to you. I paid my first round. I didn't do my own PPP because I didn't know how.
you. Hmm.
I didn't know what to do. So I paid somebody. I paid somebody $7 to do mine.
Mm.
To me, that was a bit much. I didn't charge 7,000 to do anybody's, but that's
Right.
what I had to pay.
No,
But
it's
I
cool.
didn't I didn't question. I didn't question them either. I didn't say, why are you charging me $7,000 to do my PPP?
Charged it
I
to the
didn't care.
charged it to the game.
Charge it to the game. It is what it is. I know. And the reason why I went that route is because I was referred by somebody, right?
Right.
Somebody that I trust. So I say, are you sure I can trust these people? Do you trust them? Yeah. They said, yeah, they did mine. I said, and you got your money back? They said, yeah. I said, send me a screenshot. They sent me a screenshot that they got their money back.
Mhm.
And this is family I'm talking to. So it's like, okay,
All
I
I
trust them. But if anything go left, it's on you. You feel me? Like, it
Yeah.
is what it is. It could have been my people's got some of the cut. I didn't care. I didn't care. You feel what I'm saying? It was something that I didn't know how to do. And that was their price. And I needed it.
No, I feel you. Now I wanted to talk about, like, from hearing your story, I'm gonna talk about my struggle. We talked about it yesterday, but it wasn't on the podcast. But it was about the client that I had, and I'm not trying to talk bad about them or nothing like that. But that's, to me, that's corny. Like, that's tearing
Mhm.
somebody else down and what they trying to do. But I
The respect, because we gonna normalize saying respect. I need you to respect my business, and
that's what
you
I'm.
disrespected me and my business. Well, go ahead, go ahead.
So I do credit repair. You know that. So
Yeah.
stuff out for a client. I don't know if he didn't see results right away, that he didn't believe I sent it out. So he had hit me up like, hey, the credit bureau said that you never sent out any letters or none of this. Like, it ain't no
Mm-hmm.
dispute though. I'm like, well, when did you call them? He sent me a
Mm-hmm.
screenshot. He called on a Saturday. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. The credit bureau is not open Saturday. Who?
Right, right.
Oh, I spoke to a representative. I'm like, but they not open on Saturday. Who did you talk to? And he couldn't give me a name, a agent ID
Mm-hmm.
number, nothing. But it all boils back down to respect. Like, respect what I'm trying to do, and just know
Mm-hmm.
that you're not my only client. I am a full-time student. I'm in 5 classes. This is my last semester, and then I'm graduating. And I had a baby. So it's like, respect my time and what I'm trying to do. And like, if you my client, I'm working on your stuff, but
Exactly.
don't act like you doing the work for somebody and you sending them my way and you trying to middleman the deal or something like that. Because I don't
For
know what
sure.
you charge them, and you're not doing the work. And you don't know how to respond if a credit bureau send you some, oh, this account been verified. You don't even know how to respond back, but you
Right.
trying to basically check and see if I sent some stuff out for me. Like, I don't need you checking something that you don't know how to
You're
do.
not supposed, and that's the thing about credit repair, because okay, it's just like a credit card. Your
Right.
credit card only reports once a month, right?
Mhm.
All right, so if your credit card only reports once a month, that means your credit only updating once a month, right? So just think about when you mail a standard letter, okay, to someone up the street from you. It can
Right.
take 3 to 5 days for somebody up the street to get this letter, okay? It can get there sooner, but it can take up to 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, if you sending somebody some mail from Ohio to California, now you're looking at 7 to 10 business days. Now that's 7 to 10 business days if there isn't any delays,
Mm-hmm.
if there isn't any call offs, if there isn't any breakdowns, because you don't know what the post office have to go through to get this mail to one place to another. You're not
Right.
sending the mail overnight. Otherwise, there's an upcharge if you want me to send these dispute letters overnight. I'm not
Right.
overnighting anything. That's an upcharge. It's actually like $26. You want to pay for that?
Right.
You
And
want me to give you the letter and you go mail it off?
exactly. And another thing too, like, you trying to check my foot tracks and seeing what I did. You don't even know that the credit bureaus can respond anywhere from 30 to
Mhm.
45 days. So
After they receive it, though, they
after they.
have to receive it first. And just because they received it doesn't mean they're going to review it immediately. They
Right.
have a time frame that they have to respond to a letter. So if it took 20 days for the letter to get to them, and then they got 20 days after they received the letter, now you're talking 40 days. That's
Right.
past the 30-day turnaround time that your credit is updated. So your credit may not update because they may say, oh, well, we have enough proof to say this information that's on your credit report is accurate. So now I got to send out another letter to
Another.
say, no, it's not right. So now we're looking at an additional 20 to 40 days. So now we're looking at 80 days, right? Am I doing my math right? Yeah, I think.
It could be more than that. Like, that's the thing
It
about it.
can be more than that,
It can
and
be a
it can be faster, but just going on YouTube, just going or listening to things on TikTok or
lot.
Instagram, whatever, everybody say the same thing. It's a marketing strategy. Sorry to just say this on the podcast, but we want people to get results within
Days.
30 days. But if you just use what I consider common sense on how fast it takes for me to mail a simple letter to my mama house, and I
Mhm.
know it took her a week to receive that. How long do you think it's really taking these credit bureaus to receive the letter and review it?
Right.
It takes time.
They do.
Everything takes time. You apply for a loan. Just because Kiki got her loan back in 2 days don't mean you getting yours back in 2 days. It can take 2 weeks. Just
No.
because Sarah got her tax return in 4 days or 21 days, you might be taking 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is different. And it doesn't mean I didn't do my end or I didn't complete my task. It's just I can't control what's going on once it leaves my hands.
Right. So how important is it to have like something in place, like a policy, just in case a client tries to sue you?
Well, as I stated before, I help people start businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I put emphasis on. You gotta make sure you crossing your T's and dotting your I's with whoever you're dealing with. Um, and if you got it in writing, whether you tell somebody, and I'm learning, I'm still learning to this day. Get everything in writing. Get your agreement in writing. Get your policy in writing. If you got a price chart or whatever, get that in writing, and make sure your clients is reviewing all of this information before you start your services. Um, and if you happen to be doing something virtually, make sure now, because this is the part that I'm learning now. I gotta call certain phone companies and make sure my lines is being recorded, because it may be a time where you started this conversation through text message, but then you transferred over to a phone call, and the person on that other end of that phone is saying, okay, I agree to your credit repair pricing of $1,000. That's cool. Go ahead, do it. I'm ready whenever you are. I'll pay you. This is all verbally, and if it isn't recorded, it's kind of like it's their word against yours. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, real quick, Tamla, another thing, right? I just
Mhm.
learned this, but in some states they have laws about like conversations and you can record it. Like when a business contact you, most time they might say like this phone call is on the recorded line. Like you,
Uh-huh.
business owner, you do have the power of recording a phone call. You just got to
Yeah.
look the laws when it comes to, I guess, like phone communication and recording. Just
Okay. So yeah, because of is it because of private information?
not just private information, but really to cover yourself, just in case a client, basically say they didn't receive a service or agree to something. You have
Mhm.
a phone call recording, but you have to let them know, hey, look, this phone call will be recorded. You see
Yeah.
what? So you got to basically disclose that to them,
Before you even begin talking to make sure it's okay.
right? Just to
Yeah.
protect yourself.
Yeah, because that's what I'm working on. But it's important that every business get their documents in order. Like get your contract, your agreement, have all this stuff reviewed and signed before you even start your services. So, say for instance, it's a pricing thing, because that's the biggest thing that I'm running into this year. Like people are not okay with receiving what 20K
Mm-hmm.
but don't want to pay 10%. You get what I'm saying? Like I look at that like crumbs. You still walking away with a nice chunk. I'm not pocket checking, but do you know the amount of credits and the amount of time that I have to put into this return to get you this?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like you know how much, and time is everything. Like time is money. And I'm not going to waste my time because you're not okay with my pricing. So I created like a whole price chart that basically has an estimate of how much you will pay for me to do your taxes. And once you see that price chart, you have to sign and date that before I can even move on. You have to sign a date that you authorize for Peerless Tax Service to prepare your tax return, and you will pay the full amount on the invoice before I can even start my services. Like I'm not doing anything until my documents is done. Before I complete your tax return, since you already agreed to everything and you gave me the okay to move forward, I
Mm-hmm.
will then send you additional document that you have to sign saying that you authorize for me to complete your tax return and you're going to pay it. And this is how you're going to pay it. You're either going to pay upfront, a payment plan, or upon direct deposit. And you check, like I deal with people out of state too. So it's through DocuSign. So everything is recorded or whatever. You can put notes and whatever you need to do. But it's just important because I have ran into, like I said, issues with people saying, oh, I don't like this. How did you get your price? Or said that they okay with the price, but their parents stood behind them and was like, oh, that's too much. XYZ could have did it and they would have only charged you this. Like things get crazy. Like people are crazy out here. Like, and you gotta protect yourself and you gotta protect your business. And if everything is in writing, then you good.
No, I got you. So both of us, right? We in industries, you do taxes and you do credit repair. I just do credit repair. But we in industries that are constantly changing. So how important is it to network with people in the same industry as you?
It's important because you may know something about credit repair that I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's important to unite. You know, I don't look at things, and it depends on who you're doing business with, but I don't look at things like, oh, you stepping on my toes. You have, a lot of people have to program themselves mentally to want growth and understand that in order to grow, you have to learn. You get what I'm saying? Like, you dealing with different people that's on a higher level than you or on the same level or under you, you still can learn something from each level. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can tell somebody what they're doing wrong and they can tell you what you're doing wrong. And if you can take constructive criticism, you get what I'm saying? You can adjust and tweak you to become a better person. You get what I'm saying? So down the line, if somebody else say the same thing about you, it's like, oh yeah, Joe over there already told me that. So it must be a real problem. And if you don't fix that problem, because it may not be a problem to you, but it's a problem to others. But if you don't fix it, it'll be a problem down the line. You get what I'm saying? So meeting and networking with people on different levels is very important. It puts you through doors that you never even could get through by yourself. For sure. And it's like you might need to repair Carly B credit. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. She don't have time to call, these credit bureaus and ask them questions about what's on her credit. It could be something that she didn't even do. And she just need the assistance because she don't have the time to do it. And then her alone can open up more doors for you.
Definitely, I agree. So
it's very important. It's just hard to get people to unite because I think a lot of people are small-minded and they look at it like, oh, I don't want this person doing better than me. Oh, this person think they know it all. You got to look past that. Because past that is where the money is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't build an empire by yourself. You can't. Right. You can't.
And
you need a team.
Right, I agree. And you should never, I guess, want to sit in the room where you know it all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No more than everybody around you. You need to get out that room and go.
Yeah, you in the wrong room.
You're not familiar with. Like, I don't even know y'all talking. Y'all talking English, but it's like Spanish to me or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to put yourself in those rooms and network with people that been in the industry, got more skin in the game. And then you can come and give your pieces here and there, but just network. But most people don't like to do that because most people don't want somebody going past them, taking off, getting more clients. But you shouldn't worry about that because eventually that's going.
Because what's for you is for you.
Exactly. And what's not
for you is for you. And everybody is unique. You know, it's everybody have their own way of doing things, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like I had seen the quote online. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was more so like, Have you ever walked down the bread aisle and seen that there's a variety of breads? You got wheat bread, you got whole bread, you got white bread. Just because you don't eat that bread doesn't mean that other people don't eat it. You get what I'm saying? And people are still buying it. You in the same road. That's the line of business. Y'all are bread. Y'all all do something different, but it's still the same line of business.
Right, I agree.
But
So,
I mean, I was listening to a podcast. Like I said, I'm new to podcasts. I'm not afraid to say. My fiance introduced me to podcasts, and for years or for the longest, I thought a podcast was on like the Apple Music, right? I didn't know the little purple little satellite was podcast. I didn't know that, okay? But I'm new to podcasting. So me and my fiance was listening to, and you probably should listen to it. We were listening to the podcast. Are you hip to Earn Your Leisure?
yeah, I listen to that all the time.
Yes, man. Did you hear the Steve Harvey podcast?
Man, that was deep. That was a deep one,
You
right?
did listen to it?
I listened to the whole thing yesterday.
Yeah, I got 42 more minutes on that podcast, but baby, listen.
Hey, Steve's a bad man. I ain't gonna lie. That's a bad man.
Man, but I'm in the car like, yes, I'll be trying to tell him. I was so pumped listening to him. Like, he's amazing. He is amazing. And he's so motivated. Like, and what people don't see is the struggle. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? Everybody just look at the picture, like, oh, Steve Harvey got it. Steve Harvey been doing this. But not too many people know what these successful people go through behind closed doors. You get what I'm saying? And that's what create the character. That's what continue the motivation and the drive, because it's like once you start something, if you gonna get, if one thing can stop you, you should never even start it.
Right.
If it only took one comment, one action, one bad thing to go wrong that shut you down, yeah, you wasn't built for it from the beginning. Because growth, you gonna go through a lot of different things. Like you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose money, you might you might stand in the court a couple of times, because these are all growing points. You get what I'm saying? So that way, and to know that you actually growing though, you got to actually overcome that mistake and find what you did wrong, correct it immediately, not down the line, but correct it right away. And then you continue to move forward, because now if I make a left right there and it's a shark right there, I know I'm gonna get ate by that shark. So because that shark almost ate me alive, I know not to go that way. So let me go this way. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna correct those wrong turns right away so it don't bite you in the ass down the line. Excuse my French.
Hey, yo, you know what's crazy? I don't know if you remember, but I believe last year when we did the first podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said you didn't like public speaking like that at all. You remember
I
that?
know. Yeah, I still don't.
This podcast, I was like, Tamla, the got in her bag or something. Like, real though. I was just listening.
I'm still shy. I am still a shy person. Like, and I was telling one of my clients, I'm helping her start a group home. And I was telling her, like, listen, I'm telling you now, put your big girl shoes on, put your big girl panties on, and put a vest on, okay? Because it's gonna be a lot of things thrown at you. You might want to put a helmet on too, okay? Because it's about to get crazy out here. You dealing with so many different people. And I told her, like, still to this day, I get new clients all the time. Like, it's normal now. But I'm still shy. I'm still shy. I am a shy person at heart. And it's because not everybody is going to adapt to me. I'm bubbly, I'm friendly. You can learn some stuff from me for sure. And I'm gonna make sure I complete my task, and I'm gonna do a darn good job at it. But you might not like my energy. You get what I'm saying? You might feel like I talk too much. You might feel like I smile too much, or I play too much, or I ask too many questions. But that's just me. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I had Zeta Driller. He's a popular driller here for those that's watching or listening. Zeta Driller. He's a popular driller here in Cleveland, Ohio. Amazing. Okay. I was nervous. I was nervous. I was very nervous doing his taxes. You don't know why? Because my son was like, "You doing Zay who? You got Zay the jeweler? You doing his taxes? Oh man, that's wrong. That's so wrong. I want to meet him." So, I'm into jewelry. I'm familiar with Zay, but the way that my son and my fiance and my surroundings hyped up Zay, baby, listen, I was like, okay, well, y'all making me a little nervous or whatever. And I don't know if I should come off serious and stop all the smiling and stuff. How should I approach this guy? Because I don't know. But Zay was cool. Like, Zay is a very cool person. He let me be me. I let him be him. And we completed our task. Like,
Oh, that's dope.
I'm not gonna say too much, but we all happy at the end. we all happy at the end. And that goes back to one of the questions that you asked about growing. You get what I'm saying? Like networking. It started like how I got introduced to Zay. It started with my guys at A to B Logistics. Shout out to them, Bronco in Austin. I met Bronco in Austin. I bought a refrigerator and some more appliances from Best Buy, and they kept rescheduling my appointment. Okay, they sent my refrigerator to the wrong address. Then it went on back order or whatever the case may be. But they remembered me from delivering my refrigerator and said, "Hey, do you do business taxes?" I said, "Yeah." And I did their business taxes. And from there, they referred like so many different business owners, on different levels. And Zay was one of those guys that they referred, which is actually a blessing. So I definitely say I'm happy. And I appreciate Bronco and Austin for believing in me. And it's only up from here. So in the near future, I'm looking to, not in the near future, but starting next year, uh, it's only going to be very few personal tax returns that I do, but I'm transitioning over to business taxes only.
Okay, so can you give people some gems for business owners, like some tax advantages that we could use?
For sure. So you wanted to make sure that you guys are keeping all your receipts. Some people like bookkeepers because a bookkeeper is going to, oversee your expenses, right? And they're going to organize your expenses so that when it is tax season, you don't have to hassle or sort through all these receipts because they done already got the job completed for you. But it's important that you guys, as business owners, keep these receipts. And if you're going out of town, make sure that you try to find a way to, if it's a business trip, if you going to, I don't know, meet and greet with somebody else, take pictures. Take pictures of your business folder, your ink pen. So like say for instance, I'm going to Florida. I got my folder, okay, and I got my ink pen, okay, and I'm going to go and ask for a conference room, or if I'm having a business dinner or whatever I'm doing, we taking pictures to show the IRS that, hey, I was here at this time on a business trip, and
Right.
the expenses for the meal, the rental, the gas, the flights, the hotel, all of it.
Right.
Write it off. And one of the things that I did tell my one of my clients was I needed him to have, like, his expenses was just, he barely even spent anything. You get what I'm saying?
No money.
He did spend things, but he didn't record it. And he didn't know what he could record. You get what I'm saying? So meals is a part of that travel. Mileage rental, like I just said, it's a lot of things that falls under travel alone. Like supplies, if you are mailing something, like say for instance, you selling your shirts,
Right.
any something to somewhere else, you have to pay for that. So that's an expense. You get what I'm saying? Like, you want to keep track of those every time you pay to ship something. You want to keep track of how much it costs to make one shirt. You get what I'm saying? That's all an expense. How much did your vendor charge you to ship it to you? That's a part of an expense. You know, it's something that's called COG, which is cost of goods. You want to make sure that you are keeping track of your cost of goods because that all matters at the end of the day. And office expense. Um, you run a podcast from your home. A
Right.
portion of your home can be written off on your taxes per square footage because you're operating out of your home, right? And
Right.
then you may have to buy a
Equipment.
computer. That's a part of your office supplies. You may buy paper to print out your invoices. That's a part of office supplies. Ink pens, um, your tripod things, your camera, all of those are supplies and things that you use out of your home to operate your business. You have to pay a light bill, a gas bill, you know, you got to pay water. All of that stuff has to be in operation in order for you to keep this podcast going. So, with that being said, that's all stuff that you write off on your taxes. And I'm always here for business taxes,
I might
So
need you.
yeah, like no, I'm gonna give you the breakdown for sure. The way that I got my thing set up because I am not an accountant. Okay, I know how to do accounting work, but I am not an accountant. So if I have to break down like business tax receipts, this is definitely an extra fee because I now have to sort things, add it up, subtract it. And depending on the type of business, like nonprofit business, they can file taxes. If you are a 503C or 501c3, that's what it is, 501c3. If you are a 501c3, that means that you have got granted or you have received some type of okay to file taxes on donations and things like that, right? A 501c3 must have a licensed accountants to do their taxes. And I am not that. So a 501c3, I can't do their taxes yet. But anybody else, I can do your taxes.
Okay.
And it's levels to taxes. Like you got your individuals, you got your LLCs, you got your S corps, you got your C corps. And the biggest thing about business taxes is knowing when to upgrade from LLC to an S corp. Because once you make over 250,000, you're starting to go into a different bracket. And when you get into these different brackets, the percentages from the IRS, what they charge you for employees or whatever else, it get costly. So at the end of those tax returns, people are owing a lot of money. So you want to find the right entity for your business based off of the amount of money that you're making and how much staff you have.
Okay.
So I like business taxes because it gives me extra tasks and I like to keep myself busy.
I got you. So I guess like what is something that you would tell a client that's trying to get over on the system, like when it comes to taxes?
Have documents.
Have documents.
Have documents. If you're trying to get over on the system, trust and believe this system may not catch today. It may not catch it tomorrow or next year. It might be 5 years from now. But whenever they come, have your documents ready.
Okay.
So whatever document, I wouldn't advise nobody to do it because I wouldn't do it. So if it's my client, if I wouldn't do it, you not doing it. I'm not doing it for you. Period. But if you have somebody else do it that is okay with doing it, make sure y'all have the documents in order.
Okay. Now I know you're not giving advice on that, but I just wanted to pretty much talk about like a lot of people trying to always maximize something that they really didn't do. Like, you know what I'm saying? like I know it's a lot of tax advantages out there for people, but some
Mhm.
people be trying to just do the most and they know they ain't, you know what I'm saying? So what happens when a person gets audited or their business get audited?
So me personally, I offer audit protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I create a file for everybody who taxes I do. As a tax preparer, we have up into 3 to 4 years to keep each client documents just in case they were to audit my business or audit the person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's what the IRS do. They want to come back and make sure that you did everything right as a tax preparer and that the person who is filing the taxes put everything right on their return, right? So before I even do your tax return, we have to build your file. Okay. You have, if you file in a dependent, you have to send me the birth certificate, the social security card, the two major things showing that this child belongs to you. Say, for instance, you filing like your nephew or your niece. You have to send me document stating that you have custody of this kid and you have grant or got okayed by the parents or whatever, or the court, that you
Mm-hmm.
can file this kid on your taxes, right? So certain things has to add up. For self-employed people, I ask for receipts. And I even allow, because not everyone have access to like their birth certificate and certain documents on hand. But
Right.
after your tax return is submitted, you have 30 to 45 days to submit certain documentation. Okay. But it's important to submit, like say for instance, you don't have your receipts. It's important to submit however you receive that money. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you were receiving cash and you wrote invoices to your customers, I need those invoices to match up with the amount that you saying that you made on your taxes. And that's what as much as I can do. You know, if you really didn't make that money, it's kind of hard for me to say, you ain't make that money. You know, that's not my place.
Right.
But I can only protect my business and protect my clients so much by saying, produce the receipts.
Yeah, I
You get
agree.
what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
anything outside of that is out of my league. Like I can't do nothing about it.
I
But I try
definitely.
to protect myself as much as possible for sure. And my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
I said, if I won't do it, I don't care what service I'm offering. If I won't do it, I'm not gonna allow my clients to do it because it's to the point where you're gonna come back to me and I'm gonna have to fix the problem. So it was I did a client taxes last year, and the year before last, he let somebody else do his taxes, and I guess the tax preparer put that he drove like or made 400,000 or drove 400,000 or something crazy on his transportation tax return. And he was like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to go back to her because I can't help you out of this situation because I don't know what she put on your return. And if I go behind her to try to correct it,
that's
you
more
could get
work.
in deeper trouble or I could get in trouble because I don't know what was presented. However, if the IRS told you you needed to send in um your oil change receipts or whatever, I can do that part of it for you. I can fax the documents for you. I can do all of that, but I can't make any corrections to your tax return because I don't know what she did unless you have proof. I don't know the conversation. So that's allowing me too much work. But like I said, with all my clients, I offer audit protection for $199, and that's for this year's tax return. It's not for your previous tax returns or your future tax returns. It's strictly for this year's tax return in case anything was to happen 4 to 5 years down the line, you protected on this return. And I did it. So I know what I put in and I have documents to prove what I did. So that's
Definitely.
why, like the beginning of the conversation, it's always good to protect yourself and make sure you got all your agreements and all your documents and all your receipts in place so that you can protect yourself down the line.
Okay. So well, wrapping it up, I want you to leave like a powerful message for the people that might be listening or that will listen to it.
Okay, something positive. Right now, the world is going through an inflation. Everyone is trying to make it out. Everyone is trying to figure it out. Don't hold on to the things that you can't change. Try to create a way to change your environment or your situation. I'm a strong believer that it's nothing you can't do. It's nothing that you can't overcome. But if you put too much energy into one thing, it's stopping you from moving forward. So getting out this pandemic, getting through these gas prices, getting through COVID, getting through this war, even our vets that's on standby or the people that is actively in the war, I want to say that everything is going to be okay down the line. It may not be okay today, but keep fighting, keep moving, and keep studying. Like, figure out a way. You got to do it, because if you don't do it, no one else will. And you can't rely on no one to fix your problem, but you can count on yourself. So that's my positive note.
Definitely. No, I mess with it. So how can people follow you and like find you on social media?
I am on Facebook, Peerless Taxes. I am also on Instagram, Peerless_tax service. And my website is www.peerlesstaxservices.com. I am in Ohio. I am a tax preparer. I also help people start business, and I also do credit repair, but I'm trying to just give all my clients to, flow. I'm just trying to give them all over there, but that's the services that I offer. Down the line, something I am looking into is life coaching, because I don't think I'm perfect, but I have been through a lot and I have overcame a lot. And I know some of the things that I've been through or is currently going through, I can help somebody get out of their situation. So that's how you guys find me. And I thank you so much, Dee, for having me on your show again.
Oh yeah. Welcome. Hey man, I like when we chop it up, man, because when we chop it up, we talk.
We
Like we
do.
talk about a lot. And it go all over the place sometimes.
It do.
Because we only talk like 2, 3 times out the year. So when we do chop it up, we gotta chop it up. But
For
no,
sure.
I was happy to even get you on because like I like to keep the podcast flowing. Because when you
Yeah, for
talk,
sure. Because I texted you yesterday, like, podcast, podcast, podcast. And I'm just like, I wanted to get on this podcast to like pretty much talk about, you know, overcoming the pandemic as an entrepreneur. Like, it's hard out here. Like, I feel like at some point I need like someone to talk to about it. And when I talk to other entrepreneurs, I understand, and it makes me feel so much better that I'm not the only one that's going through what I'm going through with
right,
dealing with people. And like I said, everyone is in survival mode. I know that. But don't bash or don't give the person that's trying to help you a problem, because if it wasn't for our services, where would you be? You came to us for a reason. I'm sure you did your research. You were comfortable giving me your information to help you. So when it comes down to paying, why is it a problem? This is how we make our money. If you repairing credit and I'm doing taxes and you need credit to get by, because it used to be money talk, BS walk, but now it's money talk, money and credit got to do the talking for the
right.
BS to get to walking. Like, so if you need money from me and you need my help getting the money, to use this money to go to Smooth for the credit repair, because both of our services is going to get you to the next level. Why not help? Why not pay us for the time that we done put in? Why question us about how much we charging if we know our end result is going to get you to the next level? Why do we gotta go through it? It's not fair for us. It's not fair to the business owners. It's not fair that we gotta, basically sell our soul or sell ourselves short to please somebody because of the fact that they're not comfortable with our pricing or
Yeah.
the time frame.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even care about pleasing people no more. Cause I don't,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, not
for
everybody
sure.
gotta be my client. Like, that's something I'm learning. Like, some people just want the easy way. If you want it real easy, don't come to me because I'm not gonna make it real
Hey,
easy.
but them shortcuts is gonna always,
It's
I'm
gonna
not
take.
gonna say always, but most shortcuts
Mm-hmm.
will take you 10 steps
Backward.
further behind than
Right.
ahead. I'm gonna just say that. And I'm gonna use physical therapy as an example. I was started off as a PTA and I wanted my PTA license immediately. I only wanted to go to school for 2 years. I didn't want to do 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted it right now. I went to 3 different schools chasing 2 years to still end up doing 4 to 5 years of school.
Right.
But had I just stayed focused and I just went to one school and stayed focused, I would have been done with my degree.
Don't even
So,
feel bad though. Don't feel bad because
I
like
mean, I don't feel bad, but I
yeah,
don't feel bad. Reason being is because this is the reason why peerless tax service exists. You know, I
right.
had to figure out or create something for myself to give me the funds to be able to comfortably go to school and the flexibility to comfortably go to school. Because I mean, when you get to talking about generational wealth and curse and all of that stuff matter. Like having kids at a young age, I don't regret my children at all.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this stuff matter. Like you got teachers calling while you're in class. You know what I mean? Like you trying to go to work, so you trying to work and study at the same time. Like had certain things been set up for me when I was younger, for me to only be able to focus on schooling and not have to worry about all the extra stuff, I probably would have been done. But I'm not going to blame my mother and father. I'm not going to blame nobody. And that's why I say you don't hold on to the things that you can't change. You just create a change for yourself. And Peerless Tax Service is the start of my change. Once I get everything in order, I'll be able to go back to school and finish my degree. You know, but you need to start now. Like start working with the kids now. You know, your baby is only a few months, but start teaching young. Start creating savings accounts, IRAs, or
Yeah.
CDs. Start doing that stuff now, because $20 every time you get paid or come across a chunk of money, that stuff add up over the years. It may not sound like nothing now, but it
Mm-hmm.
adds up. And by the time your kid reach a certain age, you can say, okay, here go your tuition if you feel like you want to go to school. Oh, you want to start a clothing line? Here go your startup right here. Whatever you use the funds for, start now.
Yeah.
Like my kids,
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to get my kids, like my son is 14. Born to Go is dropping in this spring. So in like 2 weeks, his clothing line dropped.
Okay.
Jaquel think he's about to spend this money on whatever. He probably think he about to go buy some Balenciagas. He probably think he about to get drippy with his money. Nah, nah, nah. Nah, nah, nah. You're gonna take a portion of, because I did the startup cost. So you're gonna take a portion of this money
Right.
and you're gonna re-up. And then the other portion, you're gonna save. We putting that into a savings account. You're
I'll
gonna
put it
keep
in stocks. That's what I would do. Put it in some stocks since the market is down. Like we were saying before, he don't got to put all his money in there, but have him put $100 to play with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So for sure, because I'm gonna tell you like this, I'm not like all in with stocks. I'm not. I'm familiar. I done did my research. I know how it works.
We
I
can
can
learn.
learn some more. Some people can educate me a lot more than where I am today.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you from what I know and the stocks that I invest in, it has to have dividends. So
Right.
those are the type of stocks that I would
Mm.
have my son invest in, like AT&T. AT&T is one of the companies that got the most dividends quarterly. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind if the money keep going up and down as long as you're giving me something too. I'm making money off of it. Like somebody said, I know Apple got dividends, but the dividends for Apple isn't as much as AT&T.
Right.
So that's how I invest, unless I'm going to crypto. If it's crypto, different story. You gambling a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say
But
that.
if it don't got dividends, if you plan on like investing, because those are the type of things that you invest in and let your money sit there, unless you trust a company that's growing.
Right. No, I agree.
But yeah, and then I'm still afraid of the stock market and crashing and losing my money, and the stories that I done heard about people hacking and stuff. I'm not with that risk. I ain't for that risk. Me
No,
personally.
no, I feel you. Yeah, but
I don't want no parts. You take something from me, listen.
I feel you.
Listen. I'm not too pleased with that. So I'm the old school way. Like a lot of things that I do is old school. My marketing is old school. Me
Mm,
handling my money is going back old school. I'd rather be able to have full control over my money and my finances
right.
than to have somebody else controlling it. And at any time, something can go left. I don't like that.
Right. I agree. No, I feel you. Yeah,
But
man.
that's
But
our world. That's our world. I know everything is virtual. Just I say what the stocks players say.
definitely. Yeah, but thanks again for coming on. And I enjoyed having you as a guest like usual. You
Thank
know what I'm
you.
saying? Come on, we chop it up. And of course, you educated me, but you educated the people that's gonna listen to the podcast about a lot of information. And business owners, don't feel like you alone. This is a
Yeah,
podcast,
no,
so
no. But to my business owners, it's March 17th. If you haven't already started with those receipts, get you a shoebox.
mm,
Mark each shoebox if you want to go that way. Uh, Groceries, gas, whatever, supplies, and toss the receipts in that shoebox. But start now so that by the end of this year, it won't be so hectic. And one thing that I do want all my business owners to look into is QuickBooks, because QuickBooks will save you down the line, whether you are a small business
mm,
or a large business. Okay. QuickBooks will organize all your transactions based from your statements from your credit cards and your debit cards. If you link all of them to your QuickBooks, they'll do the sorting for you. So at the end of the year, you get what I'm saying? They send you a copy of what you just spent throughout the year. I know Huntington got a little pie grid for that. I know Chase got one too,
mhm.
but QuickBooks is really good for it. They have bookkeepers, accountants, they got all of that. And if you got employees, they also help you with creating and submitting your 1099s at the end of the year. And you can enroll for them to automatically send out your W-2s at the end of the year. That takes a lot off of your back if you're a busy business owner like myself that don't have time for that. QuickBooks is where you want to start.
All right,
It's other payroll systems out here, but QuickBooks take over everything. Like it's all in one.
definitely. Yeah, man. Thanks again. And yeah, this is gonna be dropping tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. And you guys have a great day.
All right, take care.
You too.